There are some leaders who inspired many people across the globe. These were Jesus Christ, Confucius, Gautama, and Muhammad. Today I'm going to talk about Gautama, the Buddhist. Gautama was born in an Igan tribe in northern India, and he was living with his wife, who was a princess. His father was the king of the kingdom, and he was considered a gentle person and a thoughtful person as well. Everybody loved him. He had a son, a baby boy, and he was, happy living with a wife.
As a youth and young adult, he lived a settled and pampered life. Prince Siddhartha married Princess Yasodhara when he was 17. They gave birth to their son named Rahul.
One day he went to the town of his father's kingdom and he saw a crippled man and a sick man, and he was saddened. Another time, when he went to the outskirts of the town, he saw a beggar, and he was wondering to himself, what is life all about?
For the first time, and he was filled with such dread, he resolved to give up his royal birthright.
He saw some pilgrims who were dressed in rags, and he decided to join them. He also dressed in rags, and he followed them, and they were going from places to places. They were going without food and water. Basically, they were fasting, and they were hurting themselves with knives and sticks as they were fasting. And Gautama felt sick, and he felt like he was not achieving his purpose of finding out what life was all about. Like he was suffering and he was learning nothing from it. So he decided to unfollow them. He wasn't following them any longer, and they were telling him that he was a weak man for not, following them and fasting. So Gautama went to sit under a tree, and he was, sitting there thinking about life, thinking about everything that had happened, and he realized that life is not about hurting yourself. It's about thinking right, acting right, and feeling right. And he went to the pilgrim he was still working with, and he told them that they shouldn't hurt themselves, and he convinced them that what he had learned by sitting up quietly is way better than what they are doing. Yeah, they accepted what he said. After 40 years, Gautama, who is known as the Buddhist, went around from country to country preaching about his faith. He visited his father and wife again, and his little son in time grew up to be one of his most faithful followers. Buddhism spread into the south of India and China and many other countries. Gautama taught that by thinking, acting, and feeling rightly, men could be happy, and that the only true happiness was to be free of wrong desires and empty hopes. He called this nirvana, the perfect state which man reached only when he was free of himself and his own wishes, and had grown to be part of goodness itself. Like the Brahmins who had taught him as a boy, he believed that after a man died, his soul would enter into a new body and live on earth again. If a man lived well, he would live again a life more nearly perfect until in the end he reached nirvana. If he lived badly, he would live a lower life with more desires to struggle against before he could rise to true happiness. The best Buddhists loved their brothers as Gautama did. They remembered he had taught them to think clearly before acting was the only sure way to avoid wrongdoings.
He spent the rest of his life teaching and died at about the age of 80, achieving nirvana.